Zion Williamson is the most perplexing player in the NBA. He's built like a rhinoceros with the agility and jumping ability of a leopard. When he's not in shape, he looks like the love child of Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal. In February of 2025, the New Orleans Pelicans issued a statement claiming that Zion slimmed down to 264 pounds, the lightest he's been since joining the NBA, and it showed. In the second half of the 2025 season, Williamson played the best basketball of his career, dominating on both ends of the court. But when the world heard about Zion's most recent weight loss, everyone had the same question. Is it going to last? Are we finally going to see Zion fully healthy and ready to play? Since he was drafted first overall in 2019, Zion has suited up in only 45% of all possible games. And even more importantly, he has 0 appearances in the playoffs. Williamson is the only NBA superstar with a contract that's not fully guaranteed, and also tied to a weigh-in clause that requires his combined weight and body fat percentage to stay under 295. This is the Zion Williamson dilemma. Is he really a generational superstar ready to lead the Pelicans to success, or a bust? The legend of Zion started in 2016, when clips of his insane dunks started going viral. Just a few years earlier, Williamson was a 5'9" point guard, and nothing showed that he could become an NBA player, despite strong genetics. Zion's father, Lateef Williamson, was a 6'3" collegiate defensive lineman who weighed over 260 pounds, and his mother, Sharonda Sampson, was once a promising college sprinter. But between 8th and 9th grade, Zion sprouted to 6'3", and by the time he was a high school sophomore, Williamson reached his current height of 6'6". And during that quick growth spurt, Zion suffered through immense pain in his knees and back. But when the pain finally subsided, Zion became a freak of nature. Once the pain went away, all this athleticism that I have today came out. I have no idea where it came from, but I embraced it. Suddenly, I had all the ball control skills of a point guard, and with my new weight, I could fly past people trying to guard me. In his sophomore season, Williamson averaged 28 points, 10 rebounds, 4 blocks, and 3 steals per game, leading his team to a regional championship. As a junior, Williamson averaged 37 points, 13 rebounds, 3 steals, and 2.5 blocks per game, leading Spartanburg to another title and breaking the state record for most 30-point games in a season. By then, he had become the most popular high school player in the country, with celebrities wearing his jersey and attending his games. In his senior year, Zion continued to dominate, looking like a grown man among children. He led the Griffins to another regional championship, averaging 36 points, 11 rebounds, and 3.5 assists per game. Zion did whatever he wanted and entertained the crowds with tomahawk dunks, alley-oops, and 360 windmills with either hand. But even though we'd seen high schoolers with that kind of athleticism before, we'd never seen it with someone that looks like Zion. Built like a tank, weighing 270 pounds with a 45-inch vertical, Zion defied the laws of physics and became the most hyped high school player since LeBron James. He could choose where he wanted to go to college, ultimately deciding to go to Duke, where he teamed up with 2 other blue-chip prospects, Cam Reddish and RJ Barrett. Duke became the first team to land the top 3 high school recruits since modern recruiting rankings began, and everyone expected them to win the national championship. And when the NCAA season began, Zion immediately justified all the hype. In his first college game, Williamson scored 28 points, breaking the school's scoring record in debut. Against Syracuse, Zion broke the freshman scoring record with 35 points, as well as the record for most 25-point games by a freshman. On February 20th, 2019, with Barack Obama in attendance, Zion suffered a grade 1 knee sprain 36 seconds into the game after his foot ripped through his Nike shoe, causing Nike's stock to drop by $1.1 billion the following day. However, Zion returned from injury on March 14th, posting 29 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 steals in an 84-72 win over Syracuse in the quarterfinals of the ACC tournament. He shot 13 of 13 from the field, marking the best shooting performance in school and tournament history. Before March Madness, the Zion hype reached an all-time high, and CBS specifically devoted a camera called the Zion Cam to record Williamson throughout the tournament. Zion started the tournament with 25 points in a win over North Dakota State, and in the next round against UCF, he was even better, with 32 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists in a close 77-76 victory. After such dominance on both ends of the court, it was a no-brainer for Zion to go pro, and with the luck of the lottery gods, the New Orleans Pelicans got the chance to select first overall. And not a single person was surprised when they used their pick on Williamson.
The New Orleans Pelicans select Zion Williamson from Duke University.
But before the season even started, Zion suffered his first injury in the pros. Williamson tore his meniscus in a preseason game and was supposed to be sidelined for 6 weeks, which turned into 3 months because the Pelicans didn't want to risk anything with their most precious asset. But finally, on January 20th, 2020, Zion made his NBA debut against the Spurs. And for 3 quarters, his first game was largely distraction because of a minutes restriction and Zion struggling to find his rhythm, with only 5 points scored. But then he exploded. For a guy projected to be a non-shooter, Zion started hitting threes, making 4 out of 4 and scoring 17 points in a row.
Zion for 4. Welcome to the NBA!
And everyone believed Zion was on track to become the next LeBron James. Only 2 games later, in his 3rd game, Williamson notched his first double-double and then went on a 13-game streak with over 20 points, which set the NBA record for most consecutive 20-point games by a teenager. During the pandemic-shortened season, Williamson averaged 22.5 points on 58% shooting, along with 6.3 rebounds and 2.1 assists per game. And when the next season started, Zion got even better. For 25 consecutive games, Williamson scored at least 20 points on 50% shooting, which was a new NBA record. And it seemed like he could score at will against any defender in the league. He was like a 5-ton wrecking ball slamming into opponents who just bounced off him, unable to stop his unique combination of size and agility. However, Zion was not just brute force. He also possessed elegance, and it was borderline crazy how someone so big could contort his body in the air so gracefully. If you looked closely at his layups, you'd see an aerial ballet dancer, a man who twists and bends his body to find gaps between defenders' hands to put the ball in the hoop. And then, just when things started going great, another disaster, as Williamson suffered a Jones fracture in his foot. Still, he was projected to be ready for the start of his 3rd season, but when the season began, his return was postponed for December. And then when December came, the Pelicans said he'll need more time and that he'll play around the All-Star game. But his return never happened, and Zion missed the entire 2022 season, having to watch from the bench as the Pelicans lost in the first round of the playoffs. It was a huge disappointment, especially since we could see Zion warm up before games, and it became obvious that he wasn't living a healthy lifestyle. But when Zion finally suited up at the start of the 2023 season, he was still visibly overweight. And yet, offensively, he was as dominant as ever. Williamson scored 25 points in his season debut, bulldozing through opponents like they weren't even there. However, defensively, it was clear that the excess weight was bothering him, especially in transition, as he looked sluggish running up and down the court. But in early December, when he got into shape, Zion was named Player of the Week for the first time in his career, after averaging 33 points and 8 rebounds on 70% shooting. On December 28th, Williamson put up a career-high 43 points and a 119-118 win over the Timberwolves. But just 1 week later, he suffered a hamstring injury, and it was reported that he'd missed several weeks. Despite his absence, he was voted to his 2nd All-Star game, with averages of 26 points, 7 rebounds, and 4.6 assists per game. And just like the year before, Zion's return got postponed, and then it got postponed again. In early April, the Pelicans announced that Zion would miss the remainder of the season, including their play-in game against the Thunder, which New Orleans liked to discuss it by. However, when Zion finally returned from the hamstring injury, he was visibly thinner, weighing 264 pounds, the lightest he'd ever been in the NBA, giving us a glimpse of what was possible all along. After he scored 40 points against Sacramento on February 27th, Williamson put up his first career triple-double with 27 points, 11 assists, and 10 rebounds in a 124-116 win over the Suns. On March 11th, Williamson had another triple-double with 22 points, a career-high 12 assists, and 10 rebounds in a win over the Clippers.
There's the triple-double. Second career triple-double. He deserves it. Jose at the opposite end.
Defensively, he was engaged and disruptive, crashing into passing lanes and contesting shots at the rim, with career highs in blocks and steals. But then, the Pelicans shut him down again, and in the 2025 season, he played only 30 games. It's been 6 years since he was drafted, and Zion still hasn't appeared in the playoffs. So, we're all wondering if his current form is sustainable. According to Zion, it will be, because he finally started taking care of his body, doing mobility drills, and strengthening the hamstrings that had given him so much trouble in the past. However, if you're a Pelicans fan, you have every right to be a skeptic, because the Zion cycle has repeated too many times. His struggle to overcome injuries is followed up by debates over minute restrictions. Then there's the growing tension between Williamson and the Pelicans' medical staff, accompanied by disagreements with the coaching staff and the front office.
Let me make this clear to everybody out there. If I can play in the back-to-backs, I would. I physically, yes, I can. But I work for the Pelicans. They have decided that based off the numbers, it's not smart to do that right now. If that's what they feel, I'm rocking with them on that. But yes, if I could play in a back-to-back, I would.
All of these problems happen multiple times, and we have yet to see Zion playing through an entire season injury-free without any off-court issues. When he's healthy, Williamson has proved that he can be one of the top 10 players in the NBA, and even if he becomes a passable shooter, Zion can realistically make first-team All-NBA next season and maybe even be in contention for MVP. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to check out more content analyzing the league's most compelling stories.